Tech companies are not our enemies. They are our partners. We want them to succeed. We want them to do well in Singapore and elsewhere, and we must work with them to solve problems. But at the same time, we need to be quite clear about the dynamics. They are focused on profit. And there is little incentive for them to do things which will affect their profits. In Singapore, they must know, we must make sure they know there is public interest. They can make profit, but not at the expense of Singaporeans. And POHA and POFMA seek to provide that framework. And they know Singapore government cannot be bought. We don't take money from their lobbyists, and we mean what they say. They can do business with us honorably. Singapore provides a proper rule of law framework for everyone, but they must also be responsible. Last year's SC proceedings and their dealings with us would have left them in no doubt that we can push back when necessary. And throughout this period, we have had constructive discussions with them. But let me give members some recent example. On the 4th of May, last Saturday, the managing director of AIC, Jeff Payne, published an op-ed. AIC is a lobby group for tech companies, and his op-ed was full of basic errors. One of the points he made, he referred to clause 61, the exemption clause, and said this was troubling. This clause gives the power to exempt and really will help tech companies, because where they cannot comply and they can show reasonable reasons why they cannot comply, exemptions can be given. So since they said this, and we had been discussing in general how we can help tech companies when they cannot comply, I asked my ministry to tell the companies, and that was on Monday because op-ed came out on Saturday, yesterday. I told my ministry officials to tell the tech companies, you don't think this clause is necessary, right? Okay, I'm quite happy to remove it. I'm speaking in Parliament on Tuesday, and if I don't get any response before I speak, I will assume that tech companies do not want this clause. Because how do I tell the members of this Parliament that this is primarily to help tech companies when they themselves say they do not want it? What was the response? It was quite swift. Last night, AIC issued a statement. They said they appreciated SMS Edwin Tong's clarification on the exemption clause, and they appreciated government's efforts to make POFMA technically feasible for tech companies. That's what they need to see from us. These are not children's games. This is serious business. Tech companies will say many things to try and advocate their position. We have to show them we are fair, but also firm. And then they will deal with us in a business-like way.